Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing a Corgi AMC pacer. And it's going to be party time excellent because I'm doing it in the style of Garth's pacer from the 1992 movie Wayne's World, Shawing. Of course, this is the car where they're all headbanging along to Bohemian Rhapsody. It's a pretty famous scene. This is a Corgi Junior's version of the pacer, and it was produced from 1982 until 1985. So we'll just take a closer look at it off of the turntable. It's a scruffy little example. It's missing plenty of paint there. Sort of a Matchbox style red paint on it. Most of the chrome's gone off of those bumpers. There's a little crack in the windscreen. That's a pity because I can't really do anything about that. Plastic base on it. And those old scruffy wheels. I don't know what's stuck on that one. I'll take it apart. I have to drill out these 4 posts. They're outies, so I start by putting in some little notches with a round burr on my rotary tool, and then I can move on to drilling them out. Now this was a real pig to get apart, this car. Pretty much did most of it off camera. Really one of the most difficult cars I've ever taken apart, I think. It just did not want to come off. So it was quite a bit of drilling and dremeling to get that off of there, and I still ended up cracking the base a little bit. So now I can take out the interior and the windscreen. And now the casting there is ready for paint stripper. There we go, it's the paint stripper bubbling all the paint off of it. And here it is after a good wash and a rinse. Not much paint left on that. Now usually I don't actually drill and tap a lot of these Corgis because they've got really small posts on them, but I thought I'd give this one a go. I was being really careful, and I did get 3 of them to go alright, and one of them ended up blowing out while I was tapping it. I really must invest in a smaller tap and drill, I think. Next I give it a good clean up with a wire brush on my rotary tool, so I'll get rid of the oxidation from all over the casting and any of the scraps of paint that is still on there. And here it is after the burnishing, nice and shiny and ready for some paint. I start with some white primer. And then the car is painted in a nice light blue. And so the distinguishing feature of Garth's little pacer are the flames on the side. But when I went to print out some flames on my tester's decal paper, look at that, they've printed out terribly. Now the paper's a little bit old, maybe it's gotten a bit damp or something. And this was my last sheet of white decal paper. I only had clear stuff left. Now luckily there was one good flame going in each direction on each sheet, so I've carefully cut them out there, and I'm going to put them on. Just cross my fingers that they go on okay and don't rub off any of the ink or anything, because it won't be for another couple of days that I can get to the shop and get any more decal paper. You might have noticed I had the light blue printed around the decals. It's because you're just never going to be able to cut them out perfectly, and I don't want the white to stand out around the outside of the decal, so I tried to match it with the colour of the vehicle, and I think they come out looking pretty tidy. So another thing that went wrong, funnily enough, is I'd run out of my usual gloss clear, And you'll notice here at the back where I've tried a new one that it's just made the paint go a little bit funny. In normal circumstances I would strip this car and start again, but being as I didn't have any more decal paper for a couple of days anyway, and I didn't really want to postpone the video, I thought I'd leave it in there just as an example that not everything always goes perfectly. So here is the interior. Look, it's got chrome everywhere we don't want it, and no chrome on the bumpers where we do want it. So here's a little bit of hot water from the tap and some caustic soda. In goes the base, and look, that's real time. I'll just put the lid on my caustic soda here, and all of that chrome is already completely gone. So I take this off and give it a good rinsing, and here it is. Transparent plastic under all of that. Garth's interior was black with white centers on the seats, so I start out by painting all over the interior section with some black primer. Then I've cut out some little bits of white decal paper and I stick them in on the centers of the seats. So it's actually fairly fiddly. And then I'm going to paint the bumpers there and the grille in chrome. And finally I detailed the indicators and the rear lights and the black parts of the bumper and the grille. And here are some license plates that I've printed out. This is the license plate from the movie, and I just stuck that onto the rear of the car there. Here are the other plastic parts, the base there and the windscreen. They're a little bit grubby, so the first thing they get is a wash and some soapy water. And all I did with the base there was give it a quick coat of black paint so it was freshened up. And the windscreen here, as usual, it's a little bit scuffed, so I'll give it a going over with some 2000 grit emery paper. And this will get rid of the worst of the scuffing on there. Then I give it a good polish with some plastic polish. And here it is after that treatment. It's looking nice and shiny. It's a pity about that crack in the front there, but it's not too bad, I guess. And finally, these scruffy old wheels. Something horrible stuck to that one. I'm just going to be replacing them with some Matchbox wheels that I've harvested off of a newer Matchbox I got for a couple of dollars. And so here are all the parts of Garth's AMC Pacer, refurbished, repainted and ready to go back together. So while I'm quickly reassembling it in the background, let's just take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. Here it is, our scruffy little Corgi Pacer, heavily worn out, chipped paint job there, scruffy old wheels, and missing all the chrome from those bumpers. But who knows, under all of that mess there might be a hidden little movie memorabilia gem. Let's see what we can do. And here's our little Corgi AMC Pacer transformed into Garth's car from the 1992 movie Wayne's World. Looking like a mad beast now, with those crazy flames on the side. The old worn out paint job's gone, replaced with that nice light blue. It's also been detailed inside and out, along with a license plate from the movie there. Some nice new wheels. Slight flaw there on the back where the paint went a little bit funny, but you don't really notice it unless you look really closely. I don't think Garth's car was in the most perfect condition anyway. So all in all, I'm really happy with this little makeover. It's a real fun car to have in my collection from a movie which I've got pretty fond memories of. Back in the days when rock music was a lot bigger in the charts than it is now, I think. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you remember watching Wayne's World back in the day? What did you think of it as a movie? or maybe even owned a real AMC Pacer. I think they were an uncommon car. Just before I go, thanks heaps to everyone for the awesome comments and likes on my videos. Extra special thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters who help to support the channel through Patreon. If you'd like to join them and help me keep making videos like this for you to watch, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description down below. Thanks heaps for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you'd like to see more of the same sort of stuff, remember to subscribe and click the bell. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.